Darkness and light collide. Two flames burn eternal. From the sacred halls of Freemasonry to the roaring highways of the Widow's Sons comes a brotherhood forged in truth, honor, and fire. This is no ordinary podcast. This is the voice of the craft, reminding you that the sun never sets on the Widow's Sons. From the heartland of America, welcome to the Two Burning Tapers podcasts with your hosts, Skittles and Gilligan.
We got the bearded wonder over here. Or are you trying to match my beard there, brother?
You just call me Gilligan Light.
Gilligan Light. There we go. Nice. You must be a long-time listener, first-time caller.
First-time caller, definitely.
He's a much
Mason.
better. Yeah,
Right,
he's a much
right.
better looking Gilligan. He pulls it off way better.
Who? Mr. Pepper or me?
Yeah, Mr.
It's coming
Mr.
off now.
Pepper pulls it off. There you go.
Oh shit!
Oh,
What just happened? He went bald. Whoa!
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the Two Burning Tapers podcast with your hosts Skittles and Gilligan. We have a long-time listener, first-time caller, good brother of mine, non-widow sons, but an awesome Mason. His name is Mr. Daniel Pepper. I always like to refer to him as Doc, because back in our day when we worked together, I always go, "Hey, Doc, can I get a consult? Come on over." And he would do the same for me. So love to see you on the podcast and welcome, brother.
Very
welcome.
good.
I'm
Woo!
definitely glad to be here.
Cool.
Nice.
Brother Pepper, how did you find this podcast? Did you hear about it, or what got you on here exactly? I know you're good friends with Gilligan and a brother of his and mine, but just wanting to hear about that maybe.
You know, honestly, I saw some clips on Facebook before I knew that you guys were even doing it, and it's like, oh, hey, he's doing a podcast. This looks pretty cool. And then started seeing more and more of it, and even started having some of my friends that don't travel in our circles, you know, that are Masons though, start sharing some of your content. I was like, this is great. So my job affords me where I get to run into Gilligan at work sometimes, and I hit him up, said, hey man, let's do this.
Yep.
Dude, that's hilarious that our podcast is getting that far of a reach that kind of randomly you're seeing us, or you just randomly see Gilligan on the interwebs, which I just like the thought of. Yeah, I like the thought of Gilligan randomly being out on the internet somewhere.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, hold on. Is this a short of this guy? And you're getting a text message like, hey, who is this guy? You're from Indiana, correct?
Yeah, live in Indiana.
Indiana.
Southern Indiana.
So he has some Indiana Lodge information on how things run over there in that state.
Yeah.
So we did have Thanksgiving yesterday, didn't we?
We did.
We did. So I do remember that your lodge does Master Mason's Thanksgiving every Thanksgiving.
We do.
Correct? They raise a Master Mason.
Yeah, so it's a tradition at our lodge, New Albany Lodge number 39 in New Albany, that every year on Thanksgiving, we raise someone to the sublime degree of a Master Mason. It just so happens that that's when I took my Master Mason degree in 2021.
Yep.
And
I was
Nice.
Yeah, you were there, Skittles. Or not, you're Skittles, geez, Gilligan.
Gilligan, yeah.
I'm not used to your names, right?
I was going to say, you've only been on the podcast for like 2 minutes and you're already doing what I do on every podcast. I ruin everybody's names. No.
That's right. Yes.
But yeah, so 2021, I do remember I got to come see you receive your Master Mason degree on Thanksgiving.
You sure did.
5 a.m. if I have to be certain. And you live like an hour away from me, okay?
Yes, it was worth it. It was so worth it.
Well worth it.
Well, so I was the 71st Master Mason raised on this tradition. It goes way back. And yesterday I raised and got to obligate and raise the 78th.
Nice.
So got a kind of a fun thing. Actually, I did last year's also.
Nice.
um,
Last year's Thanksgiving.
uh-huh.
Sure.
Yep.
Nice, nice. So let me ask you, Mr. or Doc, are you? I'm assuming you're sitting master this year, right?
Yep. Yep. Currently master
Nice,
my
nice.
lodge for, I don't know, 2 more weeks or so,
2
3
more
weeks.
weeks. Yeah, right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since 2021 to now, you made your ascent in your chairs up to being master. So I'm assuming you put in a lot of work to get there.
You could say that. Yeah. done a lot of traveling. There was a point in time where probably 2 to 3 nights a week, every week, I was going out and hitting all the lodges in the area, learning my degree work and
Mhm.
mastering it and getting better at it. And then it just so happened that at our lodge, we just kind of had a room for someone to start doing that because you get guys in your lodge that like to do degree work, and you get guys that don't, and it just happened to be a bunch of guys that didn't really care for it. And so I started, hey, I know a bunch of guys because I do all this traveling, and started putting degrees together, and one thing turned to another, and
And
um,
your lodge started growing that way, didn't it?
we've picked up well. And yeah, on the other side of that, this year, I don't know the exact number, but we're somewhere between 15 and 20 master masons raised in my lodge this year.
Nice.
Wow. What
That's a
what do
lot
you
of
think
growth.
contributed to that? What's the catalyst there?
I wish I knew the secret answer to that, because the candidates just keep coming. Almost every month we'd have 1 or 2 petitions. We did get a lot, was kind of just networking. So as one brother joins, and then he'll bring a friend or 2, and then they bring a friend. So we
Right.
had quite a bit of that going on, but we also had a ton of people just walk through the door. And
What's the age demographic of these people? Thanks, Gilligan. What's the age
Uh,
demographic of these people?
um 18 to 70.
yeah, just like the lodge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. We
Yeah.
you know
I,
we had
I would say
someone come in. He's straight out of high school. Well, not straight out. He was like 19, and his grandfather came in. And his grandfather's like in his 60s, and so we got them both, and they both joined at the same time. And then just everybody in between. And it's really, I would say that it's really brought down the average age of our lodge. A
Mhm.
lot of 20, late 20, early 30s. We've got a
they all
Mhm.
they all active now that they've joined for the most part.
So that was something that I realized early on was, when you have this many people coming into your lodge, some of the other lodges around, they're like, oh man, you guys are so lucky. And it's like, man, this is a really big responsibility, because
Correct.
now I
You
have all
got a
these
lot more
people
people
coming
to
in. I need to
entertain.
take care of them. I've got to
Right.
make sure
Yeah.
they get mentored. They need guidance. They need to just
Correct.
realize, what's all can happen. I'll be the first one to tell you, we've lost people because we haven't been able to do what we needed to do.
So say it'd
Gotcha.
be hard, as you were saying in the beginning of your segment here, was that there was only a select few of guys that really wanted to do the ritual work. So now you've got people coming in, but you still only have those select people that still want to help out with the ritual work, not only on the ceremony side, but you still have the raising these candidates up and understanding the work and stuff. So you only have a select few. So if you have 15 guys coming in a year, that's a big responsibility, brother.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
big responsibility.
We've been we've been lucky, and we've been able to keep a lot of them active and engaged, and
Mhm.
mentors. The problem is we only have a handful of mentors. We have a lot of, the lodge has been around a long time,
Right.
but for whatever reason, like the last 10 past masters don't show up. They don't come. And so
Mm.
there's a lot of new Masons in this lodge, and by new Masons, I'm including myself in that. They've been Masons
Mhm.
5, 6 years or less.
Right.
And, everyone that's in the officer line is pretty much included in that. And so,
Are new Masons.
they're new Masons. And one of the thing that I've learned is, you need to have people to learn from and imitate. This is what they do. This is how you're supposed to act and all that.
Right.
And I got that because I went to a bunch of other lodges, and I
So
got
you got the experience. We were
right.
talking about a couple podcasts ago. We were talking about the experiences of Freemasonry, and you got that experience. Just like
Yes,
in jobs, you have to
right.
not necessarily staying in one place to get you that place's experience, but if you go another place, you're going to gain different experience, even though it may be the same exact thing you're doing from one place to the next. There's different experiences in that building.
That's it. Yeah. And having the role models, it really helps a lot, because you get to, when you go out and travel, you get to see the well-run lodges and the not so well-run lodges, and you can see where the deficiencies are, and it
Right.
helps you, especially if you're coming up in the officer line, to decide, these are things I want to take into my lodge and implement there, and these are things I want to avoid.
Right. I
And
was just
yeah.
was there anything was there any not specifically but was there like something this year that you changed that made your lodge better, just by like something simple, as in like maybe just I don't know, a card night, or maybe a hangout just once a month? Did you guys set something up like that to try to keep the younger membership in? Because I know that was something you guys you've talked about previously before.
So it's something. So unfortunately, I did not get a whole lot of, as my year is over, I look back and go, man,
I
there's more
wish I
stuff
could
I
have.
didn't get done than I did,
Yep.
and that
Right.
I wanted to. And I'm trying to manage all these different things, and um, I am very proud of how everything went, and I think the quality of the degree work has gone up with our
Okay.
lodge officers.
Right.
Um, you know, uh,
Putting in the work.
when I started this year, when I appointed my officers, I made sure that I contacted every single one individually, kind of gave them a light rundown. Here's the duties of your chair.
Okay.
Here's
Okay.
here's some of my expectations, and before I appoint you in this position, I want you to understand that this is a commitment, and there are times where you're going to have to choose this over something else. And
Ooh,
although
I
I don't
like
expect you to
that.
do it all the time, I do
Right.
expect you to do it most of the time, because everyone else in the lodge is now depending on you to be here to do things.
See,
And
I like that. I like that a lot. You set as master. We set some masters I've seen in different lodges or have been privy to lodges. I see a master just go up and they're kind of just like, what do I do now?
Mhm.
Where I like that you said, hey, look, if you want this chair and you want to be part of this is I as my year, this is how I expect your chair to run, or how the chairs are expected to run. So I
Mhm.
would think this is how we conduct ourselves. Are you willing to proceed and be able to I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and I mean
'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes you get lost. Master gets up there, and then maybe you have a senior deacon, or excuse me, a junior warden that's been a past master that takes the precedence of the room versus the master sitting current in the chair.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, wait. Well, I gotta pause here. Um, yeah. So, brother Pepper, I can already tell within this podcast, I'm already looking up to you. And I'm trying to figure out. So, you've been a Mason for about 4 years, give or take some months there, right?
2021. So yeah.
21. Yeah. So about 4 years now, and you're already a master Mason. You've already gone through some chairs. I'm hoping junior, senior, and now worshipful. Something there. Um, and I'm hearing you drop some really great knowledge on running the worshipful master's chair.
Mhm.
Things of like preparing your year, calling individuals ahead of time, working on degree work. Encouraging the brothers, trying to figure out who should do what. How
Mhm.
did this happen so quickly? 4 years is a lot of time for you to gain all of that knowledge and have that confidence, and to understand that you need to make those phone calls ahead of time. So I just want to hear, like, I feel like we need to rewind a little bit, and I just need to hear how did you get into Freemasonry? And like, I can tell that you've had somebody that you've learned from, and I want to know about.
Well, so it started with that guy over there on the screen to your right,
Gilligan,
which is
yeah.
probably going to look completely different on the podcast, but yeah, Gilligan over here. Yeah. So, he was definitely a gateway. It was something I was interested in before he and I really started talking about it. It was something I don't know, I watched a show on Netflix or something, and I'm like, oh, that looks really interesting, and then my wife was like, oh yeah, my dad was a Mason, and who was he? And he's no longer with us, and like, okay, and so I got kind of curious, and I had even reached out to the lodge, and I think I went through the Grand Lodge portal, and at the time no one was working it. I'd even tried calling the lodge, and it went nowhere, and those are big problems for another podcast. But like two years went by, and granted, yeah, I think it was through COVID and stuff too. So
Yeah, it's tough.
so there's that, and then I really started getting really interested in it and started hitting up Casey, and he did what he was supposed to do, and he asked me a lot of questions.
I was gonna say Daniel got the same questions that Skittles got, and then Daniel started asking the same questions that Skittles had about it.
Good.
And it was just
good for you. Good for you.
They both started asking questions, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Me, just a little background. Me and Mr. Pepper used to work together as technicians. Me and Pepper never wanted to go fisticuffs like me and Skittles did.
No.
Yeah. James was over like, well, hold on, maybe on your side of the building we didn't.
We had no problems. There were other people, but
yeah. But going back to that, as we were like kind of like you were talking about your lodge, bringing people in the lodge, and then the brother, grandfather brings his son, grandson, or whatever. Most lodges were built with the people in that area. Like my lodge, they were all UAW members. Like literally every single one of them worked for Ford. The average age of my lodge is 70. Now I'm in the lodge. I'm 42, and I'm trying to bring guys, as you're saying, back into the lodge of, oh, okay, hey, how do I do that? And it starts with guys like us we're in an industry. We all work together, not at the same place, but we all work as auto technicians. And it just kind of, I don't know, me and you talked for, I think it was 2, 3, 4 months, like just in general of straight, every time we saw each other, you were asking questions and I was answering, and I would walk over to your bay while you're working on something, and you'd be like, hey, can you give me a consult? I'd be consulting, and then it turned into Freemasonry. 3 hours later, we're still standing here, and boss would come by, I'd be like, aren't y'all working? Yes, we are right now. But yeah, it was definitely
yes,
it was definitely nice to see you be raised as a Master Mason. I got to see both of you be raised as a Master Mason, actually.
Yeah. So, Brother Pepper, you found Freemasonry. So, to recap, what I'm hearing is your wife's father was a Mason. You were thinking about it. You see some things. Maybe you want to join. Found Gilligan, or Gilligan found you, right? Talked to him about it. Yeah. And then you eventually got raised, became a Mason. Now, I'm interested, what happened after that? Because I can tell you had some influence. Like, you've been well educated. You've gotten a lot of knowledge in these last 4 years.
Well, let me ask you a question before you answer that question.
Okay.
Are you a 32nd degree master? Shit.
Scottish
32nd
Rite?
degree? Scottish Rite?
Oh,
Get it on
are
the
we showing
camera.
some tattoos?
Oh, it's upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
There we
Got some
go.
ink,
Yeah.
got some
Yeah,
ink
yeah.
on you, brother.
And so he's enlightened.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, you went in deep and quick.
So, 20 Thanksgiving Day 2021, I got raised as a Master Mason, and the following Saturday we got this one over.
Wow, your skin took the blue really well.
It
Yeah, it
looks
did.
just as good now as when I got it. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, that's really nice tattoo, brother. Those listening, a very beautiful square and compass with just a bunch of blue getting packed in there. My skin does not take blue very well, so
How
that's
long?
nice.
How long you been a 32nd degree Master Mason?
We did that two years ago, a little over 2 years ago,
So
and I'm
2023 ish.
23 or 22. Yeah, it's all blur.
It is.
Let's put it this way: long enough, I am now treasurer of the valley.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice. So
your
you're
life has
master.
changed.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say you're master of the lodge right now, right?
For a
Since
little
you're
bit
coming
longer.
out, yeah, I was gonna say you're coming out of that chair, and what chair are you going into?
So I'm a plural member. Up until about last month, I was a member of 3 lodges, but one of them, due to job changes and things like that, I couldn't get to anymore, so I demitted.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, dues are expensive, man.
And being committed to a lodge, there's a commitment for those that are not Masons and listening. It is a commitment. Those that are Masons and have forgot their commitment, go to lodge.
Go to
That's
lodge.
the reason why we're
Go
here.
to
Just
lodge.
show up.
Go
Don't worry
to
if you don't
lodge.
remember
Just
any of it.
show
Just show
up.
up.
Just
That's it.
show up. Gee, I mean, it's an hour. What do you got to lose? You go sit down with some buddies. Create. If you don't have any buddies at the lodge, add some buddies to the lodge.
Yeah, just show up. It's the
Just show
easiest way
up.
to do it.
We don't want your
Well,
money. We want your time.
well, my other lodge, which actually I'm currently master of. There's 2 lodges that meet in our building, so those are the 2 lodges I'm still a member of. The one I'm master of is not the one I got raised in. Is it's been an interesting path. The lodge I got raised in is much smaller, but I got elected secretary.
Life sentence.
Probably.
I was gonna say in our lodge, when you get done being master, you get kicked outside the door. You're Tyler. You get to start
I
all over
love that.
again.
I could be so lucky.
They're like,
Um,
look, get outside for a minute.
Well, I was
so
senior
brother
deacon, so
Brother Pepper,
Mhm,
something you and I share in common. We're currently worshipful masters,
mhm.
and I have one more meeting as being worshipful till I'm done. I'm guessing you're probably in about the same boat.
We have our stated meeting, and then 2 days, 3 days. Well, or we meet on the Thursday, and
St.
then the
John's.
Saturday we're doing installation. So yeah, I got
Installation.
one more
Okay,
meeting.
so yep, I'm in the same boat. So something I'm really curious. You and I, this is our first time being worshipful master, and you and I at the same time is going to be our first time being a past master. What
Yep,
do
same
you
year.
what do you think and believe are the duties of a past master? What are the expectations of a past master? What are you going to do as a past master? What did you want from your past masters?
Well, like I previously stated, to circle back and answer some of your questions that you've had previous to this.
I've had a lot of
So
questions. Yeah.
Look,
so
we make big
so
circles.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm
Yeah.
intrigued.
So when I first came in as an entered apprentice, the lodge is a small lodge. The Pythagoras 355 is the whole roster's less than 50. I think it's actually closer to 40 right now. Um, and there's about 8, 9 active members on a good day. They're a great group of guys, and there are several past masters among that group. But I got in. I'm kind of like today's generation. Like I want to let's dive in. Let's get a bunch out of it. And so I started
Right.
showing up to everything I could, and I'd show up, to the stated meeting. Well, at first I was like, I don't even know what I can do, what I can't do, really.
When you
After I took
first became a master mason.
after the entered apprentice degree,
Oh yeah.
I was kind of like just kind of no one really called me, no one checked on me, no one tried to work
I was
with
gonna say
the
Indiana, you can come in as an entered apprentice, right? That's what I thought. Yep.
Yep. So what I did though is when, I did find out that, hey, there's another lodge that meets, and that several of those members were at my degree, and they're like, you can come to both lodges. Okay, cool. And so honestly, since I got initiated, I've only missed maybe 3 meetings for between the 2 lodges. Very, very few meetings. I would go to all the meetings.
I'm proud of you, Pepper.
And but early on, I was kind of like, I don't really feel like anyone's working with me on anything. And so after about like the 3rd meeting, there's a member that was plural in both. And he and I got along really well. And he was on my investigation committee. And
older
and
gentleman, correct?
No, he's just a couple years older than me.
Okay.
And so I kind of picked him. One day because he seemed to know a lot, and he was a past master of the building, and he'd been a Mason and for quite a while. And actually, I was proud to give him his 25-year pin a few months ago.
Nice.
So I said, you're going to mentor me. you're going to teach me this proficiency stuff. And I just lucked out and picked the right person, because he knew all about our old building, because he was on the trustees, and so he told me how the building worked. And then he's assistant secretary and the treasurer, so he kind of knew like how all the inner workings and the behind the scenes stuff. And we'd sit and talk for hours while we're supposed to be sitting there on the ABC books, or, well, you guys don't have that in Kentucky, but
right.
But learning the proficiency. So he taught me my proficiency and a lot of other stuff, and so like we'd go through a meeting.
Not in the book.
Yeah. And like, so we'd go to, there'd be a meeting, and I'd be like, after the meeting, like, what the heck was that? Like, what does that mean? Like, tell me about that. Like, what are they talking about? What's this, what's Grand Lodge? It's like,
right.
Tell me the structure, make this all make sense for me. And
right.
So,
you're trying to figure it out.
And I'm a very detailed and analytical person.
Correct.
So I wanted to be able to like build a structure in my head, like this is map it all out, and this is how it's all formed, and this is where these go, and put all the things in their places. And so he helped me a lot. And through him giving me that information freely, and I'd call him with random questions all the time, and I still ask him stuff. And between that, going to 2 different lodges, and then I didn't really start traveling until I got my fellowcraft degree and found out I could travel. And so I never saw another entered apprentice degree while I was in EA. And right after my fellowcraft degree, I'm like, I can travel. So I called him up. I'm like,
I can travel.
I'm like, Keith, there's a degree at this lodge. It's not very close, but it's like half an hour from here. You're going to take me. So we hopped in his car and we went, and I gotta do my first little bit of degree work as junior steward. And
nice.
And it was ironically the brother whose degree that we were at that night was present at our Thanksgiving degree yesterday. So it was good to see him.
Nice.
But yeah, and then it just, once I started traveling, man, it's just like, all right, I'm going everywhere. And then I had time, especially after my Master Mason degree, I just started going everywhere. And but I also used that experience to start picking up some of the Masons that were getting initiated and stuff at the lodge I'm master of now, because they were kind of going to the same thing. They'd show up at a stated meeting and just deer in the headlights, like, what am I doing? And I'd walk up, hey, I was at your degree, hey, is anyone working with you? Oh no, man. I'm like, here's my phone number. And so
nice.
Now you got the younger guy teaching the younger guys. And there was a good crew of them. There's a good solid crew, because I did that for several brothers in a row, and just tried to give them everything I had and teach them everything I knew. And several of them became officers, and are officers now. And most of those guys that I did that with still come back. They come back every day. And what I realized from that is the guys that no one did that with don't come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so going into
Yes.
this year, mentorship was one of my biggest priorities, was trying to do that. And I didn't do as good a job as I should have, because I definitely had some brothers that fell through the crack.
Right.
You know, and I got some feedback, and it was like, oh man, this really hurts my heart to hear what one of them said. But you know, but on the same token too, you know, and I think you guys touched that on a previous podcast, is that, you know, this, and we say this, it gets said a lot at the entered apprentice degrees, and actually all the degrees, you know, this is an organization where you get out of it what you put in it.
Mm-hmm.
And try and, you know, and maybe, and you guys talked about this on the last one too, you know, maybe we do need to look a little harder at the West Gate. And that was something else I wanted to work on at my lodge with all these candidates come in. It's like, you know, we don't have to let them all in, and not every single one of them, you know, maybe not every single one should get in.
Right.
You know,
Agree.
Cause I'll be honest, we had one, he came in and, you know, I worked with them and, you know, obligate him as an entered apprentice. And then, I don't know, 3-4 months went by. And I don't know if honestly, it's really bad of me to not know who was working with him, you know, but it's hard to keep up when you initiate him and then 5 more people.
Well, as master, it's not your job to keep up with every single one of them. You have other brothers that you delegate it to, and you know, sometimes it does fall between the cracks. It happens.
Yeah. Well, he texts one of the other officers, I think, that might have tried to work with him, and basically said, you know, screw you guys. No one's reached out to me. No one's trying to work with me. You know, I thought someone was going to do this, but you know,
at some point you have to put in the effort too.
My gut reaction is like, brother, I've not seen you in lodge since you got initiated, and you knew what our stated meetings are. You need to show up. Like,
all you have to do is show up.
It's a 2-way street. You know, you didn't put anything in it. You got nothing out of it. And although it really does hurt me, on the other hand, it's like, you were told this,
right?
You know, and you know, granted, if we're like a lodge, like a lot of the lodges around us that only get a couple candidates a year, it's really easy to not let them fall through the cracks, you know. But I really wish we could have grabbed that guy and go back. But at this point, like, I think I tried to text him and then he had blocked me or something. I'm like, okay, I don't know, that's the way you want it, you know. That's where we'll go, you know. So those of you that are new to Masonry and kind of wondering why no one's reaching out to you, get off your duff and go to lodge and ask somebody, pick someone.
Or if you're not new to Masonry, get up and go to lodge.
Yeah. Well, you know, so, oh man. Yeah. I had a brother we had a big fundraiser event that we do every year at Harvest Homecoming here in New Albany. And
makes lots of donuts.
God, the donut booth. It's almost a bad word right now, but, it's our biggest fundraiser. That money is what pays for a lot of the repairs and upgrades to our building, which, if you guys don't know,
your building's really old, and
our building's it was built in 1849 originally as a mansion, for, I think, he's a judge or a steamboat captain, one of the two. And then in 1919, they added on to the back of the building, 2 stories. There's a big hall. There's a full basement, and then there's 2 full-size giant lodge rooms upstairs. And I mean, it's, you know, the lodge rooms are 100 years old, and the rest of the buildings, you know, 50, 60 years or older than that. So the building takes a lot.
A lot of upkeep, so a lot of money.
It eats money. Yeah. So this is our biggest fundraiser. And so we go and we sell these donuts, but it's very stressful because, as you guys know, when it comes to
try to do any fundraiser, buddy,
you need
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
And this is a thing that's open from, we start at 5-6 a.m. with making the first rounds of dough, and it used to go till almost 11 o'clock. They changed the harvest hours after the
The shooting.
well, there was a shooting couple last year, and so they changed the hours that closes at 9. But it's like we got to run this thing for like 14 to 16 hours with 6 or 7 people the
4
whole
days.
time. Yeah,
4 days.
for 4 days. And so what ends up happening is you get the same 5-6 people that are there open to close for the whole thing, and people get in their feelings, and people get.
I was gonna say, let me tell you guys that are listening, that when he says 4 days, 14 hours a day, he means 4 days, 14 hours a day of people standing in line for a block or more to get the donuts because they are handmade by his lodge, and his lodge is the only lodge that does it, and it's the only time that you can get them. So that line stays fucking packed for 14 hours. There's literally not a stopping point. So when you got 7 guys that do it, that puts a lot of stress on brothers.
Oh yeah, we're one of the oldest continually run booths at the Harvest Homecoming Festival.
Mm-hmm.
So we're a fixture. We're a mainstay. Everyone expects us to be there. And good God, if we mess up the donuts, we don't hear the end of it, or if we have to close early because there's not enough people.
Right.
Oh yeah. But I had, we knew we were going to be short on people, and I had sent out an email. We started using a new software where I could send mass emails out to the lodge members for better communication. And we get this, I sent this email out, and, maybe it was a little strongly worded, but this brother saw it, and I'd never met him. He'd not been in lodge the entire time I've been a Mason. And he sent an email back because I don't know if he thought I was only talking to him versus everybody. But he said he had a bad experience at Donuts because he worked 8 hours and never got a break, which absolutely happens. And he was flabbergasted that I would insinuate that he has a duty to come and help, and basically said, go pound sand, and I want to demit. So I emailed him back, and I was like, hey, if you'd showed up for 2 hours, 8 people could have got a 15-minute break. And you could have been the guy that gave him the break.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's all perspective at this point, right? And he only worked according to his email, he only worked it the one time, and that was it, never again. And then he complained that no one mentored him, and he had to get mentored at other lodges or something. And it was like, and this was 10 plus years ago. So it was long before my time as a
Brother
Mason.
Pepper.
Yeah.
What are the duties of a past master?
So
this is where we started, by the way.
Yeah. So the duties, that's a great question, because, I haven't seen anything that says what a past master should do. I have an idea.
Okay.
Of what a past master should
I'm
do.
sorry. Yeah. What do you want to see while you were Worshipful Master? What did you want to see out of your past masters? And or you and I are both worshipfuls right now. How do we want to be past masters?
First thing I wanted out of all my past masters was to show up. So,
fair enough. Fair enough.
That's we got to get step one out of the way, right?
Because I do remember, I remember you saying once the past master gets out the seat, they kind of disappear, right?
Gone. Yeah. There's the only past masters that currently come to lodge with any kind of regularity. One's the treasurer, one's the secretary. So
right.
That's it. Periodically we'll get a past master, a random past master will come in. The treasurer and the secretary are our family. They're related. and there is a past master that's also related to them that will occasionally start showing up. It started showing up. Oh, are we still here? Okay. It's got a little touchy wire on it. But yeah, so we don't really have a whole bunch that show up. But what I want to see, what I want to do as a past master is, number one, I'm going to be there, and I don't want to run the lodge anymore, right? I'm gonna let the new master come in and his officers and let them run the lodge as they see fit. But I want to continue working on this mentorship program that I started, um, and just be there to be an example for the rest of the brothers in the lodge, and kind of do what I can to help basically mentor and guide them. And I think that's really, really those two words right there, mentor and guide, is really the basis, the minimum you should do. And you know, outside of that, it's just whatever the lodge may need, and just be a good example.
And just where you need to be as the lodges need it. Yeah, I definitely think sometimes as a master, you should have a second year after your first year as master, because the first year is kind of you're learning what the master's
Yeah.
not necessarily what the master's spot is, but you're sitting there in those spots and you're doing your duties. Um, just like we've had a podcast talking about, you should know your chair. As master, you
Mhm.
should know your spot, how to perform your duties. But there are like those things that aren't written down, or that's just standard for your lodge. And if you don't do it that way, a past master or someone sitting in a chair is like, well, we ain't never done it that way.
No.
So I've, in my opinion, I think that it would be nice if a master could sit for 2 years, because the second year is kind of like, oh, I know how
I
this shit
agree.
runs now. Now let me actually put in some more work that I can focus on. I see I see those little, like you were saying, some of those guys fell through the crack as your year as master, because you're just still trying to figure everything out that comes new along with that seat. So as a past master sitting, I was master in 2016, 2017, I do, but yeah, 16 and 17. I got to sit for 2 years. The second year was definitely much easier, but sitting as past master, as you were saying, Daniel, my expectations are, uh, I want to help the master out as much as possible, the current master. I want to sit in a chair that fulfills best for the lodge as a past master. Now I have that information from making my ascent from chair to chair to chair. Um, so it may be for you, you're set as secretary. I set as secretary for 7 years of my lodge after becoming past master. Because no one wanted that spot. And I've sat in all the chairs. And for me, that was pushing my boundaries, because I'm horrible at spelling. I'm horrible at keeping myself like noted and together. But that pushed me and made me better at those things, and it made me realize, okay, I can figure out how to spell, I can figure out how to do a list, and how to keep, because you are, as a secretary, you are kind of running your lodge a little bit. So as past
Hmm.
master, if you do sit down as your secretary, as you said, you learned from a past master that was, well, he was a treasurer. Keith, was he treasurer or secretary at the time?
He's treasurer. He still is.
Treasurer. Okay, I'm current treasurer at my lodge right now. It's been for 4 years now. Uh, I got somebody help me somebody took that life sentence for me, which is nice. He's a little better at it than I am. I knew when to step down, but I knew at that point when I became a past master, that was needed in the lodge, and I knew that was, as a past master, that was my point to step up. Or I could have let another brother in the lodge, but no other brother wanted that spot. So as past master, I said, you know what? That's helping the lodge, even though I feel super uncomfortable about doing this, because you're going to read my chicken scratch and be like, what? So I had to use Siri a lot and be like, hey, Siri, how do you spell?
Whatever
But
whatever you got to do to get her done. And
yeah,
the good news is, at least with New Albany 39, we've got an awesome crew of officers. My officers this year have been everything I could ask for, and they fulfilled what I asked. They showed up. They learned their work. They've been reliable and dependable. Um, and I really, as far as that goes, I couldn't ask for a better support team
Mhm.
to get things done. When I really truly needed help, I got it.
Right.
But like everyone, I probably took on more on my shoulders than I should have or needed
Mhm.
to, and should have
Mhm.
asked for some more help when I needed it. But
Did a little more delegating.
I could have, yeah. And but there were times where I did. They understood. If I'd come up and be like, "Hey, this is something I need you to do," and yes, sir, I'll do it. And
I
they've
was
been
gonna
great
say,
about that.
with us being young and us being young into Freemasonry, I guarantee we're gonna be sitting in the master spot again at some point in our in our
Well,
life, even in
I'm
that
in two
same
lodges,
lodge
so
or maybe a different lodge.
yeah,
You never know.
yep.
It's as past master. It's where do I need to sit? What do you need me at?
And I'm not in any, and that's the other thing with Dolby, because there are so many people. There's people waiting to get in line now, which I think is incredible.
Correct.
And so I don't have to get back in line. I didn't get elected to anything, and so that leaves me free in that lodge to be 100% a support person. And that's
Right.
exciting
Right.
for
Right.
me,
Right.
because in the other lodge, I never sat as master. Um, but sitting as secretary, I get to do a lot of good in that lodge as well. And
Correct.
I think
Correct.
that's good. And the secretary, he'd been secretary for a long time, and like a lot of secretaries, he's up there in age, and he served his time, and I
Mm-hmm.
had an opportunity to get him out, and I think that's where I needed to be, in that lodge.
Right.
And that's where we went with it. And I'm excited for it. I knew what I was getting into. And the good news is it's a small lodge, so hopefully the workload is not too big. Because one thing we haven't talked about is I also started a DeMolay chapter.
I was getting ready to throw you on a different subject there, bud.
Yeah.
I was gonna let you finish your subject there, and I was gonna say, "Hey,
Yeah.
Daniel, don't you care a lot about that youth and Freemasonry? You wanna divulge on a little bit of that DeMolay, because we haven't had anybody on the podcast. So for those that are new listeners, don't know what Freemasonry are, or maybe young by chance and happen to see our short come across Facebook and be like, "What the hell is that?"
So DeMolay is it's not junior Freemasons like a lot of people call it.
Right, right, right.
It is 100% attached to Freemasonry, though, and is supported by Freemasonry. Um, it's done in the lodge room, but it is for boys only, ages 12 to 21. Um, they they come in. There's some ritual that they go through. There's an obligation that they take, but it is not related to any of the Freemason ritual.
Mhm.
They do have their own officers, similar sounding titles, and they do sit in the same chairs, and they use gavels. They run their own meetings. Um,
Nice.
it's a pretty cool thing to see and watch when you get a fully functioning DeMolay chapter. To watch these boys do kind of what we do in Freemasonry, but different, But they'll have an agenda, and they'll run through it, and they'll talk about their meeting minutes, and they'll talk about their money. They decide what they want to do with their money, how they want to spend it. Do they want to give it away, charity, and things like that.
Mhm.
They talk
Making
about their
good
sick and
decisions.
distressed. Yeah, and it's based on the story of Jacques de Molay, who was the head of the Templars, and
Okay. Yeah, yep, yep, yep.
he was famously burned at the stake. I forget the year, 1300 something. The whole Friday the 13th connection.
Mhm.
So
1362 pops in my head for some reason.
we'll roll with that, Casey. um, so it follows his story, but basically that, even though he went through all these trials and tribulations and was tortured and persecuted, he never gave up any of his friends, where they were, where their wealth went, or any of that. He kept those secrets till his death. Not saying that DeMolay is trying to tell the boys to just like don't rat, so die with your secrets, but it's more about emulating being true to a trust. These are good qualities to have. All your friends and brothers can count on you. They
And I'd say in a younger generation that definitely means a lot, especially in today's world.
right. Yeah, and there's a lot they have. And I'm gonna get panned for not knowing all this stuff off the top of my head. I was not a DeMolay, so a lot of this stuff I'm learning as well. But there's seven main they call them preceptors that are lessons that they follow. Like love of family, love of sacred things, patriotism, cleanliness. How to treat women. Be respectful to women. And be mindful of your education. It's a lot of good things. There's nothing you wouldn't want your son to know that gets taught on this. And I hear it mirrors the Boy Scout stuff a lot. So in one of the groups I'm in, there's a lot of Boy Scouts that are also in DeMolay, and the parents I've talked to said it's a lot of similar values and stuff that are taught. It's just a lot less time consuming and cheaper. So and DeMolay in Kentucky is doing fantastic. You guys have a great executive officer there. His name's Greg, and he's been a big help in. He's been a big help to me in getting the chapter running here in New Albany.
Isn't your son in your chapter? I was going to say that.
My son's in my chapter. We got to start over there in Louisville because we're so close, and we didn't have a chapter here. The nearest chapter to where we are now, aside from Kentucky, is 2 hours away. So either 2 hours north or 2 hours west. So there was no options for DeMolay until last year when I created the chapter. And that's something too that's needing to take a lot of my time and to focus on it.
Right.
That's a lot harder than Masonry because these boys are 12 to 21. When they turn 21, they're done. And so it's not like Freemasonry where you're in and you're in for life.
Right,
so,
right.
They become senior DeMolay, but if you don't constantly recruit, it's the end of your job.
What is the age requirement for a Mason in Indiana?
18.
Minimum 18. Okay, I was gonna say Kentucky's 18 as well. So at some point in that journey of DeMolay, they can go to be one, ask one.
We have two DeMolay right now that are both Master Masons, and actually both 32nd Scottish Rite Masons as well.
Nice.
So, but they only have a year or two left, and then they're gonna age out. But it's still a good opportunity, even if you're of that age, because there's some stuff that you can do in DeMolay that I think is really beneficial. There's some stuff to learn, and there's some accolades you can get as well if you apply yourself and really work hard. That at least in your Masonic career are very worth having. So
right.
Yeah.
Gives you the fundamentals.
Yeah, Gilligan, I wanna try our elevator speech segment.
Oh boy.
And Brother Pepper, if I was a lady who maybe had a 16-year-old son at home or something,
Woo! I like where you're going with this one.
and we ended up in the elevator together. So you got 30 seconds to tell us, hey, I noticed you're a Mason, you're in the DeMolay. Can you explain what is the DeMolay to me, and why should my son join?
Well, DeMolay is a youth organization for boys 12 to 21. It teaches them values and good morals and values, on how to act and present themselves and treat other people, and gives them opportunities to learn leadership, to become leaders, um, and to form themselves into good young men that can be productive in society, and prepare them for the adult world.
Nice.
I love that.
That was a,
I love
that was a
that.
good 30 seconds. You nailed that right on the money.
Yeah.
Were you timing yourself?
Nope.
Because I was.
But
so
but the
if-
biggest
if we're-
takeaway
if-
from that is
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
never said the word Freemasonry.
Good. Well, so that leads us into our next one. Gilligan, do you want to ask him what is a Freemason elevator speech?
Yes.
Oh, I get to do two.
Yeah, you get a minute for this one. So,
Oh, no.
if you were trapped in that same elevator, and normally it's for me and Skittles, we are wearing our cuts or our vest or whatever you would like to call them. We get, hey, what is that? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There you
you're
go.
wearing your shirt. He's got
there you
some
go.
Masonic tattoos too.
Yeah, it'd be like, hey, what's the double what's the double eagle all about?
I don't know. I haven't figured that one out yet.
Or the square and compass.
Yeah.
Or the trowel.
So you want a Freemasonry elevator speech, huh?
Yeah,
Freemasonry elevator speech.
just a little quick one from the just out of nowhere of just like, how would you get someone interested in Freemasonry by that 1 minute?
I'm gonna
Some random dude.
I'm gonna go with the old cliche of making good men better. I really think this is an organization that if you put in the work, we will give you the tools to make you a better man. We're not going to do it for you, but we're going to help you along the way. And you're going to join this organization, and you're going to find a new family, friends and brothers all over the world. You'll never go anywhere where you won't have someone that you can rely on and trust. And it's the journey of a lifetime, and one of the best things that I've ever done. And everyone that I know that is a Mason will tell you the same thing.
Bomb.
Love
Because I was getting ready to say, I said the same thing when I joined, and I still say it today when somebody asks. That's the best decision I've ever made in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had kids. That was a good decision, I think.
Yep.
Just kidding.
But I'm gonna assume that
They're not teenagers yet, are they?
No. But yeah, that as you said, every Mason will tell you it's the best decision they made in their life, and I'm probably gonna say some of them DeMolay kids, or probably most of them DeMolay kids, are gonna say the same thing. It was probably the best decision they made as a young gentleman. Because I know if there was something, if there was a DeMolay chapter or something out in my area, I would have probably joined that, because I was looking for that brotherhood out of high school. I wanted to go into the military. I wanted that camaraderie, because that's something in the military and the Freemasons we kind of share. We all been through the same situation. We've all stood in that map gas room where they spray us all with pepper spray, and we all have to stay there for 5 minutes. We've all been there. We've all done that, in a different way in Freemasonry.
I don't remember doing that.
I do remember all of us being standing there somehow.
What do you all do in Kentucky?
Well, we do have straight jackets here in Kentucky.
Yeah.
We do have straight jackets. But
Yeah.
to be one, ask one.
That's right.
in Kentucky.
In Kentucky, yeah.
I love that about Kentucky, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm choose my words. I liked that about Kentucky. I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
So there's definitely differences between Indiana and Kentucky, and I do enjoy going to degree work on the other side of the river.
I was gonna say, we have 3 different states sitting here right now talking about Freemasonry.
I'm
and
an honorary member at a Kentucky lodge.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
I would say
Yeah.
Skittles is a
I think
member of a Kentucky Lodge.
yeah, but I'm Illinois, and I think Kentucky does the best degree work.
Some strong words.
Dun,
So
dun,
so
dun.
so so
Change
I was
He said
at
it.
my
He said it.
mind.
the um oh shoot, what was it? The reception dinner for Luke Martin, your
Yes.
Kentucky Grand Master,
Current
back
sitting
in
master
September.
this year.
I went and was talking to a brother who's actually in one of my lodges who frequents Kentucky stuff and does a lot of Kentucky stuff, who happened to be at the dinner. And I was talking to him, and he introduced me to this gentleman next to him, older gentleman. I believe he said he was possibly in his 90s. And we were talking, and my brother said, "Hey, Daniel here does a lot of degree work, and he's really good at the ritual work." And I'm like, "Well, I do a lot. I don't know if I'm good at it, but I do a lot." And this gentleman was really nice. He's like, he's like, "I always said if you want to see the good degree work, you need to go to Indiana." Because he started saying, one thing about Kentucky is, you go to 5 lodges, you're going to see 5 different degrees. Um,
Mm,
That is
uh,
true.
I later found out that this gentleman, and I won't say his name, partially because I don't remember it, but is a past Grand Master of Kentucky.
that's awesome.
I didn't know it when I was talking to him, but I found out later.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
It happens. It
it does.
happens.
And I'll be one of the first ones to tell you that there's some degree work in Indiana that's very vanilla compared to Kentucky. Um, but it's I don't know. I mean, like when Woody got his entered apprentice, I did one of the parts there, and some of the floor work was different, but I knew all the words,
Correct. Correct.
so
Yes. So
is
we were talking earlier in this podcast about uh the journey and uh, being a past master and what you can do to help in the lodge. And I remember you telling your story about how your mentor, you suck it, you not suck, you seeked out him because you saw the information that he had. He was kind of like the same gentleman that I had in my lodge. His name was Danny Endrist. He was that guy. He was the senior deacon of the lodge, but he was actually secretary. But he was a senior deacon every time somebody came in. He was the candidate, and I always looked up to him because he always that interaction that he had with those candidates when they first came in the door brought me back into the door again. I was like, hey, hell yeah. And now that I've been sitting as, a past master and been in my lodge, I try to create that interaction with those brothers coming in, as you were trying to do as your mentorship through your master year, which is fantastic. And you're doing that with DeMolay as well. I think those are fantastic work. It's also raising Freemasonry in a different way, tied in not by Freemasonry, but still has some same mindset as Freemasonry in a younger generation, which is I give you kudos on that, brother, because I teach softball and I know how hard it is with the younger generation to try to keep their mindset where it needs to be. And I applaud you for that, brother. I definitely applaud you for that.
well, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you. It's a lot of work. It's worth it, and I'm hoping to keep the chapter going long enough that I could actually get good at it. It's a
Understand.
challenge in itself. It's also one of those things where having good help helps, and right now we're kind of lacking in that department. One of these days, hopefully, a parent will come along and help me out a lot with that.
Right.
Or a board master mason. We'll see.
No, right. I will for all you history buffs out there, it was August 1307 is when that happened. I was off by a
There
few
you go.
years, not 1362. I don't know why that popped in, but
Well,
1307, October
we were in the
13th,
right century, so that helps.
1307. Yep.
A long time ago.
Long time ago.
And if you ever get a chance, and if you're a Mason, Master Mason, or even Eastern Star, and you get a chance to go see a DeMolay initiation and especially see the DeMolay play, oh, it's really fun. It's really cool to
Le-
watch these boys do it. It is
let me
really
ask
Cool.
you. Let me ask you a question. Can do you have to be a Master Mason to come watch, or do you, can it just be anyone? Because we're open. We're an open podcast, so that's why I was asking.
So technically, all this stuff is public because we're working with youth. There's no secrets, right?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And, they're believe it or not, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. All our advisors are very well vetted.
Mm-hmm.
There's an extensive background check that's done annually.
Mm-hmm. Which should be you're
Yes.
dealing with youth.
Yes, there's rules. How many advisors
Per
youth.
kid. Right.
Like I don't get in a room with a single child. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. There's
Correct.
a lot of that. Like if I'm going to give a kid a ride home, my kid's going to.
Correct.
I'm not
Correct.
taking someone else's kid by myself. We're not doing that. And so there's a lot that goes into that. And shoot.
You had a Gilligan moment.
I did.
Holy shit! He just ADD'd out. He said, "Skirt." Fuck
Started
off.
thinking about something else. We're yeah. So what was I going?
DeMolay talking about the
Yeah.
about how if a Master Mason can join or come view, or if you can be just a standard guy.
So we'll let obviously the parents, and we'll let just about anybody in that wants to watch, with the exception. Well, I mean, like if someone wants to come and watch and sit on the sides and watch the degree or whatever, if they have a genuine interest and we're not going to tell them no. The only people that we're not going to do that with is like a young man who could potentially become a DeMolay, because we don't want them to see the ritual work before they would be participating.
That's a good point. Yep,
So outside of that, like we'll get someone come in and like they have a sister, and mom and the sister and grandma will come and watch the initiation ceremony.
I got you.
So it's not as closed door as like the Freemasonry stuff is. The ritual is all written out. There's no hidden. They have a password you're not going to find in there, but
right.
All the ritual is considered to be open and public, and they have some actual like public ceremonies that they'll go out and do.
Okay.
Some pretty cool stuff, and hopefully one of our boys learns some of that stuff soon.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, cool.
It is cool.
It's definitely cool. I definitely enjoy the hanging out with the youth, especially nowadays, because if we don't do that, I guess I like that in lodge. As a younger, I consider myself a youth in my lodge. I consider my lodge is much older than me. I enjoy hanging out with the older gentlemen because it's that information on that journey that I'm going to get that I can't get from the book.
It's done so much for my kid. It has done so much for Caden. Caden's going to be 17 Monday.
Nice. I was say I remember the journey that you've had with him from the years that we've worked together. I know how hard of a journey that you've had, and just to where he is today.
He's had it a lot more difficult than I have, but he's been in DeMolay now for years now. We got permission to join the chapter in Kentucky because geographically it wasn't that far, right? And so he participated there long before we opened the chapter here. And just watching him around adults now, his confidence. He's used to dressing up now, because they do wear suit and tie quite often, and and the chapter mom over there at Cherokee chapter in Louisville, if you don't know how to tie your tie, she's going to teach you.
Nice.
No clip-ons there.
Nice.
And they do great work. And
single or double?
I think they just have to do singles, but they can't. They're not allowed. When they do their conclaves and stuff, their big events. They're if they have to. Oftentimes they change clothes often. and if they have to retie the tie. If they take it off, they can't loosen it and stick it back over the head. That's a no-no.
Nice.
Don't let him do that. So he's gotten really good at he'll shake hands and introduce himself, and it's amazing to watch him
I'm
around
gonna say
adults. Really,
that definitely. I would say that alone, it being in DeMolay is worth weight in gold, because when that's a lot of things I see in people in today's job industries, getting jobs or just interacting with humans. Men don't be men and shake hands confidently. You
oh
see,
he'll do that. He'll eye contact and he'll ask questions and interact,
correct.
which is
Good.
funny. It's like I watch him do it sometimes, and I go, "That's more than my introverted butt wants to do." But,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I
So
was gonna say,
it's
growing up as a kid, my dad, he was always, you talk to him, you talk to somebody, you shake their hand and you look at them.
mhm.
When they're talking to you, you look at them. You don't look away. You have a conversation with them eye to eye, because you can read a lot of someone may be talking to you or telling you something, but if you're reading the eye contact and the body language, is going to tell you
Mhm.
the complete story.
That's right.
So yet again, I applaud you for the youth bringing up some of that information, because I have seen where your son started and when I met you to where he is now, and I can tell the confidence that he has just from the DeMolay part of it, and that comes along with you being a Master Mason. Your journey in Master Mason and Freemasonry, probably he sees that in your journey. He sees how you became more confident, and he says, "Hey, Dad, I want some of that."
I hope so.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. Well, Brother Skittles, do you have anything that you would like to say to Mr. Pepper, or bring upon this podcast before we get out of here?
Yeah. The only thing I want to just bring up is Brother Pepper. It's been really great to kind of get to know you. I've had some introductions with you beforehand before this podcast, but really just want to commend you on your time as a worshipful master. Um, glad we kind of our timeline shares being worshipful master together, and
Mm,
any worshipful masters, current worshipful masters, soon to be worshipful masters, or past masters. Hey, um, once you're done being a worshipful master, your journey doesn't end. Um,
correct.
I honestly kind of believe that's when it just gets started, and it finally maybe frees you up to like really get into that degree work, or that that one thing your lodge has been lacking in, or that just whatever it might be. Every lodge is different and needs something.
Hmm.
And so just sitting back, listening to this podcast. I've really been thinking about what does it mean to be a past master, and I think everybody can look into that and serve their lodge in different areas there. So that's what I got to offer, brothers. Uh, Brother Pepper, you're the man, dude. I love you. It's been fantastic getting to know you. Can't wait to get to
Yeah,
know you some more, man. And
yeah,
you're an awesome Mason, man.
yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, you put a fire underneath me, brother.
I know.
And
I
I don't
saw
get
them.
that too.
I saw them faces. He was like, "Wait,
Yeah,
hold on." I saw that smoke
yeah.
rolling out of them earballs, bud.
Yeah, I don't get that too often, and I really appreciate you lighting a fire underneath me tonight. So thank you, brother. I
I got
really appreciate that.
a lot of ideas from a lot of great mentors, and I tell you, we need to be back in a year and revisit this. What does it mean to be a past master?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe not even a year, honestly. We
Whenever.
might need to do this, yeah, in like 6 months or
do. Yeah,
something.
I was gonna say do a half year, just kind of see where you
Yeah,
land.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Brother Pepper, you
yeah.
got anything on your desk before we leave this podcast? I know they say it to me as secretary, and when I was secretary, and I was like, "Don't you see all this shit on my desk right now?"
I'm looking forward to that. I have half an idea of what I've got myself into. We'll find out what the other half is soon. And that's going to be a whole new Masonic experience, I guess.
Mhm.
Getting into that. Really, this has been really enjoyable. This is actually the first podcast I've ever done, so that's kind of
Nice.
cool. And
Ooh, we got to pop your cherry.
Very
I can't
good.
think of two better men to do that with. So,
Very good. Very good.
Shawn, it's been great to converse with you and get to know you, and
Thank you.
I look forward to many more conversations, and to all the other to continue with what you're saying, with all the current masters and upcoming incoming masters, because I know most lodges have had elections. If you guys got questions, I'm sure you reach out to these guys. They can get a hold of me. I'm glad to um, talk about how I feel about things and give advice for whatever that's worth. If anyone has questions, I'm an open book on that stuff.
Yeah.
Be
Nice.
be happy to help out anyone who might need it or want it.
Yeah.
I'll say
Awesome.
we definitely get a lot of questions, so
Yeah.
feel free. We have lots of people that we can contact you with through this podcast to be able to get you into the right information. Um, or if you want to start a new tradition with your lodge, another lodge might have a tradition that is just super simple that you can be like, hey, what do you do in your lodge? Because Daniel, you sound like you have great information from the short amount of time that you've been a master mason, and you look like and sound
It,
that you've
it,
you've
if
reached the right information.
if Freemasonry is a stated meeting once a month, and that's what Freemasonry is to you, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. More kind and wise words from Mr. Dr. Pepper.
Get out. Go visit the other lodges. The stated meetings are boring. They're business meetings. They're not meant to be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Uh, go to degree work. Go to fish fries. Go to the bib overall Master Mason Cave Kentucky degrees y'all do down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Outdoor degree, something.
Get involved in the widow's sons if you ride a bike, and
Mhm.
other other
Yeah.
things. But I will say this too. I don't know if Casey you mentioned it earlier, but when it comes to the pendant bodies, don't forget your blue lodge. And
Oh, yeah.
honestly, between me and my other bodies and everything else that I'm doing, blue lodge comes first. If it's Scottish Rite or blue lodge, I go to blue lodge. That's my rule.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because your home lodge.
that's another controversial statement for another podcast. But
No, I love that.
We
Yeah,
could
that's
get into
good.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother Gilligan, you got anything for us, and you wanna go ahead and close us out?
The only thing I got is I love doing podcasts with you, bud. I love having our guest, Daniel Pepper.
Yeah.
I love to get to see you currently in your new role as what you do with Solanus. So I get to see you quite often.
hmm
I did miss that when we were in different sides of the world for a couple of years.
yep.
When we didn't work together. So I do get to enjoy that. And I thank you for coming on to our podcast and enlightening us in some information of how you became a Mason, how Freemasonry found you, how to put some light on past masters, and what the expectations are as masters going in their year, and their officers that are coming along with them. I definitely appreciate that information. Other than that, brothers, I'm just super excited we got to do this podcast, and I
Yeah.
can't wait to have you on again, brother.
I appreciate
Yeah.
y'all having me. It was fantastic.
All right, brothers. Well, hey, love you guys. I'll see you guys later.
Peace.
See ya.
Bye.